Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on AM 950 KOEL. I am joined today by Jack Williams. Jack had a vacationing steer the last several weeks, and we're going to talk a little bit about Jack and his steer and how he got home and how he got out in the first place. Jack, thanks so much for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, this has been a story that we started covering, helping you out, helping you try to find these fellers that decided to go on a little jaunt. Some of the guys came home. Some of them, well, they waited a little longer. So this was back August 10th when this happened, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
You were doing chores, and some of the guys got out, and they decided to go gallivant. Tell us a little bit, how did they get out? How did some of them get back in?
I was putting a round bale of bedding in for them, and when I put the bale of bedding in, I unhooked the gate chain, and I wrapped the chain around the pipe, so all I have to do is just bump it, and the gate will open, and one of the steers got to scratch his head on it and got it open. I mean, I've done this probably 2,000 or 3,000 times in my life, and it's always worked until now, which, of course, is true of anything until the first time it doesn't work, so.
And the guys were out and on the run.
Yeah, when I came around the corner with the bale, they were going through the gate about 3 abreast. And I got the gate shut, and we counted them, and we had 33 of them out at one time. And a young man stopped, and I don't even know his name, and then helped me for a while. And the boys at top deck that are always so good to me stopped, and we got 24 of them, or 22 of them back, rather, anyway, 24, and there was 9 that overnighted out that first night.
So there was 9 on the loose after the first group got put back in.
Yeah, and we got 2 the next day.
Okay.
5 the next day, which was a Friday, and another one on Sunday, which left 1 out there, and we got him yesterday.
So tell us a little bit. I know that someone let you borrow their drone to go looking for some of the steers that were out. Drone's
a great thing, but it won't find cattle in corn that's 8 or 9 feet high. I mean, the only time you'll ever see them is if they're in the waterway or something, But we tried, so.
Well, you're right, because you got to try everything you can. And it was so nice. You had so many neighbors helping you out, and I know people were calling here wanting to know or messaging us. And the last thing we want is somebody to come up over a hill and meet one of those guys dancing in the middle of the road.
Oh, gosh, for about 2 weeks, nobody saw anything, and then I'd start getting a call from a neighbor, that said I saw it. And I had neighbors that just live around the corner. That steer would come up at night and scratch his head on their deck railing, which is frustrating because the time I got there, of course, he was gone, and then had another guy that would see him. And Chuck Smith saw him on his trail cam, and Jake Stamp, he was a wonderful guy. He saw him 2 or 3 times, and he'd call me, and I just, I knew more than likely the crop was going to have to come out before we'd get him, but as long as folks kept calling, I knew he was still alive.
It was nice for your neighbors to let you know what he was up to over the last few days.
Oh, my neighbors and friends are just wonderful people, and I can't thank them enough. And, well, the night before last, I was sitting at the kitchen table having a drink of whiskey, and Jerry Kearns called. Asked me if I was still missing a steer, and I said I was, and he said, describe him, and I did. And he said, well, we've got him caught with ours, and it was almost getting dark, and Jerry said, come on over in the morning and we'll take care of it. And Jerry and John brought him home for me, and I can't thank them guys enough.
Well, that was very awesome of them to not only hold him up, but bring him back for you as well. So inquiring minds want to know, how does he look? I mean, did he stay pretty healthy? Did he have plenty to munch on while he was out and about?
Yeah, he's probably 250 pounds in back of the other ones, but that's to be expected. And when I got him back with the bunch yesterday, a lot of them wanted to challenge him, which they'll do when there's a strange steer in there. So I just got my little sprayer out and put a quart of apple cider vinegar in it and a couple quarts of warm water, and he starts spraying noses, and all of a sudden everybody smells the same, and they left him alone then. So.
Well, that is a perfect story. Now, Jack, I want to say a big thanks. Like you said, Kern's brother Jerry helped you out. Top Deck helped you out as well. Anybody else that you want to say a big kudos to or thanks to for helping you out the last 41 days while this young man was out gallivanting?
I sure would. The boys at Top Deck, Jerry and John Kearns, Chuck Smith, Jake Stamp, Ryan Steinbrunn, all Clinton Ranking, and those folks that live around the corner from me. His name is Jason, and her name is Amber. I was going to thank them, but they're in Alaska getting married right now. But other than that, to everybody that helped, I'm forever grateful. So.
Well, it's a great story. I'm glad it has a happy ending. And, as I told you, next time this little man wants to go out for a vacation, he needs to make sure to check in first. You put that point across, right?
Yeah, you do your best. And after this whole mess, the thing I'm most grateful for is he didn't wind up in somebody's corn head and die a horrible death, nor did he cause a motor vehicle accident because to get to the Kern Boys, he had to cross Highway 3, and that could have been bad. But it wasn't, and we're happy. So.
Well, it has a very happy ending to this adventure. Jack, thanks so much for letting us tell your story, and thanks to all of the neighbors out in Westgate, Maynard area for helping Jack out, because in Iowa, it's what we do. We're neighbors. It doesn't matter where you're from or how long you've been there. We're all neighbors, and we're all here to help each other out.
Exactly right. People are good. You just have to remember that.